Hi there, my name is Guu Gaa Jung from the Haida Nation. My English name is Symbia Barnaby, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a pair of indigenous style beaded earrings. So I'm going to start off by showing you what kind of materials that we need. So you'll need some beading thread. I'm not sure, I think this is a D thread. The next one we'll need is a pair of earring hooks. And I like to choose the silver, sterling silver earring hooks because of allergies, so that they're less likely to cause any allergies for people's ears. You also need a beading needle. I've got a 13 gauge here. And then I've chosen the set of 3 beads. So I've got a silver, a pink, and a white because the contrast looks really nice together. I also have a beading mat so that your beads don't get away on you when you've got them on the table. A pair of scissors to be able to cut thread. And then I also have a tray here that I like to have. It's really awesome to have when you're trying to plan out the colors for your earrings. You can pour some beads into it, and then you get to see what the color contrast is. And you could also put some of your materials like the earring hooks inside so that you don't misplace them while you're making them. Let's get started. All right, so I like to start out by measuring out the thread. So I do about 4 arms lengths. My arms are pretty long, so but that's usually about how long I like to do it. And then just use my scissors here to cut it, and then start to thread it here. Let's see if I can get it the first chance here. There we go, look at that. It's gonna be a good day. So I wanna put that into my mat here, and then I'm going to lay out my colors, and the top part of mine is going to be pink. And then the middle color is going to be white and then gray. So I like to make a little pile for myself on my mat with the color. So we're going to start out with the pink here. So we need a little bit more pink because that's going to be the top part. And then I'll lay out some white beads. I don't think I need as many because it's just for the middle part here. And then I'll go with the gray. So we're going to start out with the pink beads, and we're going to start out with 6 beads to start off the first part here. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to get them onto the needle, and we're not tying the ends to the needle. I just want to make sure that you see this. We're leaving it open here. There's a tail. So I'm going to put 6 beads on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this part seems a little tricky, but it's not. So we're going to pull it out till about 1.5 feet into our thread. And then we're going to take the needle and go, so this is this side of the thread. We're going to go to the opposite side of the thread and thread up through all 6 beads. And then we're going to pull through, and then it's going to come together almost like a circle, if you can see that. And we're going to pull them tight. When we pull it tight, we're making sure that there's 3 beads on one side and 3 beads on the other. So we've separated the 6 beads. I'll pull it tight and then I'll show you. So you can see here, there's 3 and then 3. So then we're going to go add another 3 beads to the line, and this time, see where the thread is? We're always going to go the opposite end and thread through. So here's the needle, we're going to go so that the tail's coming out this end, we're going to go the opposite end and thread through. gonna pull tight here. See how it kind of creates that circle again? And what it does is it forces those 3 beads down. So then we're gonna go again. This is the trick. Starting is we're gonna go up through those 3 beads now to secure it. And so now we're on the top here. We're gonna add 3 more beads. 1, 2, 3. And remember where I said where the tail is? We're gonna go the opposite end. So we're gonna bead up. It's almost like making a ladder here. So we're gonna pull the thread tight. And again, it's gonna force those 3 beads down. And we're gonna reinforce it. We're gonna go through these 3 beads. If we can get them to lay straight. Through to secure it. Next 3 beads, and we're going to do this so that we have 9 of these little lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 5th one. Again, going the opposite to where the tail is, pulling it tight, and then securing it again. I was going to share too with the teachings that were given to me that every time that you start to pick up a project like this, we're always told to put our heart in a good place. The energy that you've got within inside of you gets transferred to projects that you're doing. So when you're working on a gift like this for somebody else, or even a pair of earrings for yourself, it helps to put some really positive music on, or drumming, music, stuff like that, so that your heart can stay in a good place. The teachings are you're never supposed to pick them up when you've got an angry heart or a hurt heart. We want to put good medicine into the work that we're doing. So we're going to secure it. And here comes the fun part after. This is the bricklaying stitch. So there's a trick to remember when you're starting any layer out going up, is the very first set of beads that you want to put on, you're going to put 2 beads. And I don't know if you can see this well enough, but hopefully you can. See how there's thread here? There's a little opening here that you can slide your needle through. And so when you're starting off on this side, you're gonna aim for, so if you can see it, there's one little way here. We're gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go to the second one here. And pull it all the way through. And this, we're gonna make sure that the beads lay. So this one's gonna lay onto its column, and then this one here. And then you're going to feed the needle up the second bead, not up the first bead, but up the second bead here. You see it? And then you're gonna pull it. And I like to pull this part gently so that we don't pull anything out of place here. And then you can see it kind of start to lay. See how it's laid on top now? And we're gonna go all the way through to this line here. We're gonna take 1 bead now. So the first set, we're gonna do 2 beads. Then the following one, we're gonna do 1 bead by 1 bead. So here's the next little stitch. We're gonna pull our needle through, and then right before we pull it all the way through, we're gonna thread it up the bead again and pull gently. And now it's laying. So you can start to see that they're like laying like bricks on top of a wall. I'm gonna go to the next one here. So you can see the thread that we're looking for here. We're gonna go through and then up. And we're trying to make sure that we're not going back through this space here, because otherwise you're going to lose the bead. So we're going to go up the bead, like from the bottom of the bead up. And then we're going to pull it again gently here until you're done. So this is the last one here for this line, and this is very key to remember. So we're going to go up through that bead and pull to secure it, and now we flip it. So now we're back to the right hand side again. So we'll go back to doing exactly what we did for the first line. We take 2 beads this time. So then we want to make sure that we are skipping the first stitch here again, remember, because we're starting out from the right hand side going to the left. So we're going to skip this stitch here and go into the second one here with our 2 beads, pull the thread through, lay the 2 beads down, and then go up the second bead from the bottom to the top, and then pull tightly. There we go. So I've worked off camera all the lines. So we've one layer, one layer, one layer, and you can see how they're decreasing in number, right? We're going 1 layer all the way up. So I just wanted to make sure that I show you how to do this top layer. So remember how we were saying when you start from the right hand side going into the left, we'll skip the first stitch here and we're going to go into the next one. So we're going to do that again here. So I've got my 2 beads here. I'm going to go into the second one and I'm going to pull my thread through, make sure that they're laying straight. I'm going to go back up from the bottom to the top of the bead, pull through again, just like we were through the other layers. And now we want to start to create a loop so that we are able to hook the earring hooks on them. So how I usually do this, and there many artists do it different ways, but I like to put 6 beads here. So it will kind of lay like 3 beads up and then 3 beads down here. So I'm going to take 6 beads all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, so see how the tail here, where my thread is, I'm going to go into the opposite direction, or the opposite bead. So I'm going to go down and feed it all the way down the line. And this, be patient through the beads. Sometimes you have to do a couple at a time when you're feeding it through, see? Can you see how, I'm going to put my hand here so you might be able to see it a little bit better. So there's the 6 beads that we were just feeding through. I'm going to go pull it through, and what you'll start to see happen here is make a loop starts to happen up top here. Can you see this here? So I've fed it through, and I'm going to feed it down through the rest of the beads. If I could get my fingers through. Thread through there. And then you're going to feed it all the way through, down through to the bottom where we started with those 3 beads when we made that ladder in the beginning. So now you can see there's a top loop here, and that top loop, the top loop here, you'll be able to, when we're finished, hook the earring hook. There's a loop here, and you'll be able to hook it into it afterwards. But right now, we're just going to keep working on the rest of the earring here. So I like to use this side still. So I'll just show you too. There's 1 tail here, and there's another tail here. I work with the tail that I'm got the thread on, and I will start to build down the line, the dangly part. And then when I run out of this thread, like this tail, towards the end, there will be a tail about a few inches long, and I will thread that through, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But we're gonna go down and start counting the pattern. So now that we've gone and made the loop here, we've threaded through all the way through down this end here. This is where we're gonna start to make the dangle part. So I'll just show you really quickly. This is the part we're gonna start working on, the dangle part here. So I'm gonna start by counting out seven pink beads, and that's just, I'm gonna lay it out on the mat here so you can start to see it. So I'm gonna count out 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to feed that through and lay it back with the rest of the earring here. Then I'm gonna start alternating between the primary color, which is the pink, and the secondary color, which is the white. And I'm going to do that 4 times here. So we're gonna go white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, one more white, and then pink. And if you're looking at to do this pattern but with different colors, you've got your primary color, secondary color, secondary color, and third color here. So we're going to alternate through and then feed that along on the line here, and I'm going to lay it down nicely with the rest of them here, and then you can start to see the pattern building here. So we've done 7 for the pink, and we're going to go 10 with the secondary color, which is the white. And so we're going to count 10, 1, 2, 10. So you can see here 10, and then I'm going to lay it out nicely again up against the rest of them, and you can start seeing, oh wow, look at that. They call it the waterfall effect. That's the effect that we're looking for, to try and get here. So you can see it kind of alternating. So now that we've done 10 of the white, we're going to go into alternating again 4 times like we did right here with the secondary color and then the third color here, tertiary color. So we've got gray, white, gray, white, gray, white, one more gray and white. So you can see here we've done it 4 times alternating again, and then I'm going to pull it, lay it nicely down with the rest of them. Oh wow, look at how nice that's starting to turn out. And then we're going to go and count 10 like we did with the white here. We're going to go to count 10 of the gray or the silver here. 1, 2, 10. So there's a trick to this now, to ending off the end here. So you can see, I'll show you with this pair here. We want to make sure that our last bead doesn't fall off the end, right? So I'm going to show you the trick. Here's your 10 beads. We're going to lay them out nicely here. You can see this is the first dangle that we've done. And I'm going to get you to look here. So we've got the 10 here. We're going to take the last bead here and kind of pull it away from the rest of the line here. And what we're going to do is take the needle and we're going to feed it up the line, but we're going to skip that last one, because if we go back through this, what's going to happen is they're all going to fall off. So we skip that last one and we feed the needle up through the line. If I could do this nicely. Right up through the line. And sometimes I take a little bit of a pause because the needle's only so long. Pull it up through the line. And see here on the end, we're going to pull it, and how it hasn't fallen off, right? We've secured it now. And so I'm going to just keep pulling it up. And sometimes you have to kind of shimmy it up. So I'm holding on to the end and I'm pulling it up. And I'm going to finish the rest of the line here. Feed it through. And then, so remember how we did the ladder in the very beginning? You can kind of see the ladder right here. We're going to go up through the first 3 of those beads, right? We're not going to go into the part where we did the brick stitch. We're only going to go up into the part where we've done the 3 beads. So 1, 2, 3. Feed that thread all the way up through there. And now what we're going to do is go down through the next part of the ladder. So we built that ladder here. I'm going to go down through there, and then I'm going to start working on the next dangle. And the pattern, how it goes, I'll pull this through first and then I'll tell you about the pattern. So we did 7 here, 7 pink beads. And what we're trying to make it look like is kind of like a cascade, right? So it's like one dangle, the next dangle is going to be a little bit longer, the next dangle will be a little bit longer, the next dangle will be a little bit longer, and then a little bit longer. So what we'll have is kind of like a cascade look. So how we achieve that is we add more beads going into the next line. So we've done 7 here, and what I like to do is add 2 beads at a time. So we've done 7, now the next line we're going to do 9. So I'm going to count out 9 here, 1, 2, 9. And then we're going to do the same that we did again with the primary color and the secondary color. We're going to start alternating again. So we're going to go white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, and pink. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 times that we've alternated again. I'm going to lay that down here, so you can start seeing how they're starting to kind of cascade down. So then we're going to go back and we're going to still do 10 white. This bottom part here, like the white and the gray, those don't change. The only thing that changes is the number of pink beads that you're going to put on the top. So we're going to count 10 beads again. 1, 2, 10. I'm going to feed those down, lay them down with the rest of the beads. And then we're going to alternate again between the second and the third color here. So we're going to go gray, white, gray, white, gray, white, gray, white. Again, so 4 times like we did earlier. And then we're going to finish this last part off with 10 gray beads again. So 1, 2, 10. And I just want to remind you again how to do this. I like making sure that we've got some practice here so we can get our skills down nicely. We're going to count, or we're going to look at the bottom here, and we're going to take our last bead away from the group of the rest of them, and we're going to start feeding our needle back up the line all the way through, and then pull the thread nicely here. And I'm going to go up into the next one, or the next following set here. And then we're going to go up through the 3 again from the ladder. Sometimes your thread gets stuck or your needle gets stuck. Be patient with it. Please don't pull on it too hard, because what can happen sometimes is it can get stuck, like mine is trying to do right now. And what can happen is you can end up breaking a bead, which I've done before in the past, and it's really frustrating because then it's really hard to correct the work that you've done, and you might have to start all over again. So I'm just going to pull it back down. Sometimes what happens is when you're pulling it through, there we go. Sometimes what happens is when you're feeding it through, you catch a part of your thread and then it will get stuck. So it's really important to try to when you're going up through it is to kind of pull the thread aside. There we go. Now I can feel it going through properly. Sometimes I will cheat and pull it through. There we go. You don't want to force it, but sometimes you do need a little bit of extra help to pull it through. There we go. All right, so you're gonna go down to until, like, keep adding. So we're going 7, 9, and then 11, all adding until you get to the middle one here. And what you'll see happen is that you start to increase the number of pink ones until you get to the middle part here. See how it's kind of making like steps, how it cascades down? And that middle one is the only one, that will have that amount of pink beads. And then you're going to start going back up again. When you're going through with your thread, you're going to decrease the amount of pink beads again, all the way until you get to the last one here. So there's this last part that I want to show you before we finish off, and that's how to hook the earring hook onto the top part here. So if you can see, there's kind of like a little bit of a J, or a little bit, if you can see, there's a little bit of an opening. So sometimes what I'll do is, like, there's a little pair of needle nose pliers that you can get from the jewelry store. You don't need them, but they're nice to have when you're doing jewelry. But you open it up here. You can even open it up with your fingers, with your nails here. And then see how there's like a little bit, there's the thread showing through. So we've, between the 6 beads that we did the loop for, so we count 1, 2, 3, and right here in the middle we want to hook the earring hook through, and see how it's gone through like that. And then we want to pinch it back to make sure that it's brought back right close, so that there's no space. And there you go. So now you can see that it's placed there nicely. So when it goes to dangle later, you'll be able to see it nicely in the middle there. And look how nice they end up turning out here, the pair of them. And one of the teachings that was given to me from an elder is that whenever we make anything like a set of earrings or any kind of clothing or any kind of artwork, that we're to gift our very first set. So my plan here is to make, that I've made these earrings for my friend Karen, and I'm super excited to gift them to her. And I also wanted to say thank you for coming out and learning how to make these beaded earrings with me and spending the time with me today. I'm super excited to see how your projects turn out, and good luck. Thank you.